And the best and the greatest day to be alive is today. And welcome to the Wise Hour. I'm your host, Jay Melane, also known as Wise, where we be dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. Family, I have a special brother here today. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be motivated, inspired. His artistry and his talent and his gift that he shares to the world is so inspiring, and he does it in a visual format. This guy, but he's not just a photographer. I'm gonna mention that he also is an artist, as a singer, motivator. I mean, the list go on and on. So I definitely want you guys to tune in and make sure that you learn something special today that you can actually apply to your own life as well as you pursue the purpose and passions in your life. But before we jump in the show, I need y'all guys to subscribe, hit the like button, and definitely share. Hey, we are a community here, and the more and more you share this, the more and more you put this information out there, more and more people be brought into the community to be empowered and to be inspired. So, family, I'm not going to hold you. So, we about to go into this amazing show. So, let's go.
At the Wise Hour, we break through the night, bringing knowledge fire, so hold on tight. Every episode, a story to unfold. We're turning every minute into gold.
And this is the place where we be dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. My brother, Eric L. Woods. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to get you on here, man. I haven't seen you in so long, and that's something because my life path had took me in a different journey. And you are in the, I think you still are in the 100-man black male choir that I met you at, and amazing talent. I remember the times I was there, and you had your camera out. You'll be taking pictures. You know, you're not obvious. You know, when you want no photographer that you're in the cut in the corner, you didn't realize you're taking all the amazing photos. But and I went on Instagram recently, and I was looking stuff up, and I saw your profile. I joined it probably about a year or something ago. And when I get there, ever so often when you post something, man, it's just so inspiring. It's so motivating. It just capture a moment, and that's why I look at photos when they capture a moment. And I said, man, I need to have this brother on here to talk about the inspiration behind photography, because not everybody has the eye. Some people take photos and they are great photos, but it's something when you take something and it calls inspiration or inspire something in your life that actually will motivate somebody. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for you to come here. So with that being said, family, I want this amazing man to introduce himself. So Eric, let the world know who you are, brother.
How you doing? Let's see, Eric Woods. I often joke that I'm first a nerd by inclination, vocation, and education. But I also love to write. I love to sing. I love to take photographs. Love my family, of course. And that's about it, man. Engineer, started out in my career technically, steam turbine engineering in upstate New York near my home. Steam turbine engineering, worked there for 5 years, transitioned from that to a couple of the corporate entities, MetLife, Merck Medco in the New York City area. And then my last job in New York City was for Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, first as manager of pharmacy computer services and then administrator of ancillary pharmacy systems before I left and transitioned. And I've been working here down in North Carolina for UNC the entire time since my family moved years ago. But now that things are kind of settled, moving on in life, then I'll be able to transition and do more with other aspects of my life. A little stint as a pastor for a few minutes in there for a few years. But then stepped away as my kids got older to kind of settle back in pocket and be there for them as they transition into their teenage years. But that's the quick version. The quick version,
the clip note version of everything. And I'm glad how you introduce yourself. Like I said, you are not originally from North Carolina, but you actually started your life and career, everything in New York and the transitional life. One thing is, you're in the IT industry, and I'm an IT person too. I'm still in the industry as well. But like you say, you go through the transition, you realize, hey, I can do this, but also I'm a creative. I can also write. Also, I'm a photographer. Also, I can sing, and you have learned I'll call it, how to use those things in your journey of life. I won't use the word balance because I believe sometimes it's not life is not just balance. It's just when the opportunity comes to be able to use in certain stages and certain places in your life, just talents and gifts. And so I'm so thankful you're here, because with your wisdom and your experience, it definitely would definitely inspire and empower somebody today. So I'm gonna throw this first question later to you, brother.
Okay.
What inspired you to pick up a camera for the first time?
That one's easy. I didn't pick it up. It was put in my hands by my father. When I was very young, he had a Polaroid. The first camera I remember, he always had a camera, but the first camera I remember when I was little was a Polaroid SX70, the one you pull up, unfold. I liked that so much that he gave me my own Polaroid One Step. And that he kept me in film and flashes, and then let me go and do what I needed to do. And then also the main camera that really kind of ended up coming around full circle and kind of leading me back into photography was the second camera he taught me. And I have an example of it here. It's a Pentax ME Super.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, he had one of these. This isn't his original, because that one, unfortunately, it packed it in. But I immediately bought a replacement for it. But that's when he really taught me, and that's when I started learning more about f-stop, apertures, all these other things, how to properly focus, composing a scene. Those are things I learned. And the full circle moment was years later. I walked into my local camera shop. Shout out to Southeastern Camera in Carborough.
Yes, shout out to him.
And then I went to develop the film there. It was like, I walked in there like, I don't need to buy a camera. I got my dad's camera. I went home and I was like, Dad, do you have your camera? He brought it out, still armor all in his bag as he did. And he pulled it out and I ran a roll through it. And man, that was like Eric meet rabbit hole meet Eric. And it's just been off to the races, and it reignited everything again from my childhood. And that was about 15 years ago now. And yeah, I've been pretty much advancing and trying to learn more about it. That's one of the things I love about, and I'm sure you understand this also, love about photography. There's no bottom to it. It's like the minute you learn something, there's something else to learn. It's like, and then you learn that, there's something else to learn. There's just so much. And so it keeps, they say as you get older, you're supposed to keep your mind active. And it's like, and it's
Yes.
definitely a tool to help me keep me thinking and keep me active. And then also, and this is going to sound corny, but I say it helps me see the beauty hiding amongst the mundane.
Oh,
So I
come on
tend
now.
to look for situations that evoke beauty, because this world, everybody else tells you, things are so ugly, things are so bad, things are so this. But when you have playing around a camera, I end up having an eye to try to find a moment of beauty hiding just right in front of me that I normally wouldn't be looking at, or I'd be distracted by something else, and I try to capture that. And I'll get a chance to get more on that later, but that really is that's my main drive for photography, is showing things hopefully that people may have seen but didn't pay attention to, so I pause it, or show them things they may not have ever realized. Hopefully that's the intent.
Oh, come on. Dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. And yes, we're gonna get a little bit later, because I'm gonna share with the family. I want you guys to stick around, because I'm gonna share a small sample. A small sample of the photography done. And like I said, it's capturing that beauty. And trust me, it'd be so inspiring. And hopefully this will inspire you to go out there and do the art photography too, because there's no excuses now, because the technology is out there. And one thing I'm going to ask you real quick, because you just showed that Pentax camera. Now, that's a film camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you do film and you do digital.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So and when I got into the game, when I did film. So I'm a photographer as well. So family, in case y'all didn't know, in case I didn't mention, I'm a photographer as well. And I used to do a lot of weddings back in the day. But when I got serious with it, back in the early 2000s, and the digital format was very popular then, because I was going to give me a film camera. I said, me being a technology person, I said, why not do the digital thing? Because I was playing with Photoshop back then. Photoshop was very popular and stuff like that, because it wasn't like all this AI animation stuff was available then. You had to go and use software and stuff, right? So I didn't want to do the lab and go to the go get the film printed and all this stuff. I want to go ahead and immediately have control and do my creativity. So I got a digital Canon, Canon D20. Then I started doing a whole lot of weddings and stuff. Now, going back to you, dealing with film and dealing with the digital format, which one do you think captured the best images from your personal experience, since you do a lot of photography?
For me, I have to say I enjoy the experience of film more. And I mean, just because mainly because it makes you concentrate on the moment and then move to the next. There's
Okay.
no reviewing the picture after obsessing and then seeing, then having 5 other moments go by while you're reviewing, like, wow, that was dope, but then you got 5 other scenes that went by. You have to move to the next, and you have to kind of really refine your skills, because I won't say we were frugal, so you can't go spray and pray with film. So I learned to kind of prize each shot, because each roll of film is going to cost you. And that kind of led me even now, because I developed my own black and white film. I developed my own color film at home and scan it. The only thing I don't do is I don't print it to paper. I use a regular a printer for that. But that also, I love that whole process where it's like you take the picture. Sometimes you forget, and we all did this, where you got a roll of film. What's on this roll? And then when you take it and you develop it, especially at home, and then you scan it and you realize, like, oh man, I forgot about that moment. And I love how it kind of helps you kind of relive that moment all over again. But it's just a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's really meditative, especially sometimes when you get to these old quirky cameras where they try to fight you even to try to take a decent picture. And it's like, so there's special techniques and things you have to remember and do, and order to things, how you have to do it. And I love that, where it makes you slow down. And that actually informs how I do digital photography. Or I try to use it to inform how I do digital photography and be more in the moment and not obsess over what just passed, and stay where I am instead of revisiting what just happened.
Okay, family, and that was 24 karat gold bars, dropped indeed. Slow it down, understand the process. So, as we go through, I call this microwave age, as things gotta be quick. We take about, we'll take about 20 shots, trying to find the right one, and sometimes we miss the moment. Like he said, he shoot and go, because with the film, it's no time to go back and review. You shoot it, then you move on to the next scene, the next moment that you want to capture, and what get caught up. And I see where you're coming from. We get caught up with the digital camera. We'll take a picture, and we're so busy looking at the viewfinder or something like that, that another moment can easily be missed, because we're so busy trying to make sure we got the right photo, instead of understanding, hey, I got the moment, let me move to the next one. Brother, you just dropped 24 karat gold bars indeed. Come on now.
Don't wait for change. They create it. Champions don't walk alone. They stand together in faith in this great collaboration. This is your invitation to the Leaders Live Generously Prayer Breakfast of Champions, a gathering of visionaries, believers, and world changers. Where? I'm telling you, 32747 Grand Travis, August 30th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. It will be a morning of revelation, restoration, and renewed strength. Isaiah 40:31 says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They'll mount up with wings as eagles. You know it's your time to soar. I need you to come expecting divine encounters, prophetic impartation, kingdom connections that will shift your life forever. Don't miss this moment with destiny, because when leaders pray, heavens move. I want to see you there. Click now on the link. This is Dr. Prophet Anthony Shannon signing out. I'll see you in the place.
We're gonna stick around on the standpoint of the journey behind the scenes. So I'm gonna ask you this one right here, and because this I want to see how you respond on this one. How does your background in engineering and music influence your approach when it comes to photography?
Oh, that's a good question. For engineering, that feeds the technical. That's where I call it the camera nerd part of me that I love. It's like, it's not, all right, I got this flash, but now how do I expose? Do I do manual? Do I use TTL? Do I slow it down? How am I going to set this scene up, where you got to plan it out beforehand? Like even tomorrow, like I have a wedding that I'm doing tomorrow. I'm already in my head looking at the shot list and thinking, okay, for that I need this, for this I need that. There's an organization to it, where I have to really concentrate on the technicalities of it, and I enjoy that part. For the singing, I would say it's a means of expression, and for me, the two dovetail together, because music, and this, I know as a singer, as being 100 Men in Black, there are times where you're in a moment where you just you feel it. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, you feel it. It overwhelms you. It is something that you can't really explain to somebody, put a finger on, but you feel it while you're there. Photography is the same thing. When I hit a shot, when I hit a particular photo, and it's just like there's a dopamine hit with that, where it's like, it just feels good. You know what I mean? It's like I really got that moment. And that's where it is. But mainly it's a form of expression and therapy. It's therapeutic. When I go and sing, I can't be thinking about all the things that are going on in the world when I'm in the midst of it. When I'm taking that picture, I can't be thinking about all the things in the world. It's like, what film did I use? Am I going to capture the scene? It's a wonderful distraction. And that's even what I say, scene, or some of my themes from my blog. Another one is analog therapy. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Vintage digital, like I go back, it's because some new cameras are so proficient that it's almost boring, because you can generally it'll grab a face, it'll grab an eye, it'll compose it properly. I mean, not compose it, won't compose it, but it'll expose it properly. It'll do all these things. So you basically pointed, like I was at a church event one time and I had two cameras that were newer. And I'm like, I need to get some crowd shots. And I had a short zoom and a long zoom. So I literally stood up and was like, bing, 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 bing. And I sat back down and I'm like, well, that was awful. Because there was nothing in it. It's like, I didn't check the focus because I knew the camera got the focus. You know what I mean? It's like, but at that point, to a point, I feel like I'm not driving. It's almost like a video game. It's like like you said, with film, especially when you go to manual focus, you are an integral part of the equation, and you are a crucial part of getting the proper shot. And I'll end there. But
I love your approach there, because and this is the teaching moment, family, because what we get is we understand the technology and we understand the availability, and I guess the availability of being able to do things very easily, but it's something about the human nature that, a challenge, when you get some kind of adversity or some kind of challenge there, and you have to actually tune in and focus. And like, for example, what he just mentioned, when you take that shot and you did everything that, you had to adjust this, you had to understand your aperture, so you understand your ISO, you got to understand, okay, I want to capture this at this, and you have the image in your head. It's that quick. You say, oh, I see this. It's a beautiful moment. Let me set this setting so it'll make it wonderful. And when you do it, it's that adrenaline rush. You feel like, you know what? I have accomplished something. When you go there and you're taking pictures and the thing doing everything for you, you don't feel the love of, you're doing the wedding, you might be getting the money, the money might satisfy you. But as an artist, it's another thing as an artist to be able to accomplish something. And that would go for singing. That go for singing, that go for writing. Those are writers, those are creative. It's something about you that you want to be creative, that you feel like you are part of the equation, not just doing it as a reaction standpoint, but more of you, like you said, you're part of the equation. Come on, brother. You have
I had one thing though, I do want to say.
Yes, sir.
When you doing family shots, weddings, things like that, I appreciate the technology, and there are times for it, because there are times where mama don't care about your artistic intentions. Mama wants a picture of baby. so I appreciate both, but it's like so there's a joy in providing people what they need and capturing special moments. But but it was just on my own, doing my own thing. I prefer being more engaged and more involved.
Okay, and that's why now I'll use the word balance. You got to know when, because mom ain't playing with our baby. She want them pictures done, and they want them done right. So what I'm saying, don't be wasting no time. Let the technology work for you. Oh man, I love it, brother. I love it. All right, you mentioned something about blog, and I know by going to your website one time and checking out your blogs, you have written for KE&H and blog extensively. That's back in there. I'm not sure you with them or not. But now, but just one thing I want to ask, is writing is another form of creative expression for you?
Oh yeah, because I've always written, even back since grade school, short stories, fictional stories, those things. That's something I always did. Poetry, I went through a long period of poetry. Ironically, when I met my wife, that's when I stopped writing poetry as much. I guess I was happy then. But that's how I got through the tough times. But so with the blog, I always tell people, like, I feel almost like it gets backed up in my mind. Like I start thinking, I'm always thinking about things. And it's like when I blog, it's almost a way of emptying. And it's like, and now that I've got it out, like even right now, I got 2 or 3 blogs in my head right now. And it's like, I got to get it out eventually and put it down. And it started as an expression of kind of more of a social commentary website, music commentary website. Then when I got took that first roll of film through my father's camera. Then it pivoted from there, and then now it's almost, there's splashes of other things in it, but it's now it's predominantly about photography now, where it just became I wanted to and appreciate. Like, I try not to do any negative blogs. If I don't like it, you're probably not going to read about it. So then I try to I can find a positive in almost anything. And yeah, with the KEH, that was wild. I was actually at work working for UNC, going to a project for a go live, and KEH reached out. I can't remember if it was by email or text. And I thought, I'm from New York and lived in New York City for a minute. I'm always like, yeah, right, KEH. Or and then I realized, like, oh, this is real. So they found me and asked me, and I wrote for them for about 3 or 4 years. And then when they're trying to get their blog up off the ground, and then what happened is they pivoted to going to more like media darlings. Like if you go to their website now, a lot of the contributors are the people from YouTube, and I'm not mad at that. It gave me my moment, and even in that, I always try to go back and honor those who came before me, because Professor Lonnie Graham, who teaches, I think, University of Pennsylvania, I saw a TED talk by him on teaching photography and his photography experience and his time with all the greats he spent time with. And I went, and that brother gave me his time. And that was another one. I'm on lunch break in my parking lot at my job, interviewing Lonnie Graham that was my first blog post, because I just didn't want it to be about anything. So that was, come on now. I wanted that to be a callback to those who came before. But yeah. And that more recently, 35mmC, that's a site out of UK, Hamish Gill, mainly film photography, but they do digital also. I do contributions through that. And Hamish and I now have cost each other money because we keep convincing each other to buy things that we don't need. But all of that, it's a community. Like, I just had a guy reach out to me on Flickr yesterday. He read an article I wrote about a camera in 2017, and he was thanking me about it, and asking me other questions. And then I'm just like, I do it to get it out of my head. So when there's a benefit to it, that's gravy. That's a benefit. That's a perk. That's on top of it. But yeah, it's mainly to get it out of my mind. And over time, I've written far more posts than I realize. And then the viewership even surprises me. I often joke sometimes. I want to look open the screen, like, who are you people? Like, why are you reading my posts? It's like I'm just some father, engineer, and camera nerd. Writing this stuff, but it's like it seems to resonate with a number of people, and I appreciate that. And I've met quite a few great people near and far through it as a result. I mean, even
I love it.
Kent Corley is a photographer out of Hillsborough. Preston reached out to me, and I did my first photography exhibited in the Continental Club in Greensboro, and sold my first photo to a retired history professor from A&T. Now, I mean, these are all things that just came about through the blog. There's another Cesar Molina. He's another gentleman I met. He came out to the site, and now we've done photo walks and he's invited me to a few Lowrider shows. Christopher Facey, Cocoa Butter Shutter, look him up. I mean, it's all this community that I've run into. Shun Lee, people like him amaze me, because he's New York Times featured artist, did a series on Black fatherhood, and now we're friends. We did a Zoom meeting about 2 months ago to catch up.
Come on now.
Shabazz has found in that Robert. He spent time talking to me and coaching me. Legendary street. I mean, and it's just on and on. Ocean Morissette guy who's down in Costa Rica. But just the community that you get. Tony Shaw, wonderful photographer out of Greensboro area, where I went to one of her workshops. She's amazing, just utterly amazing, a teacher and educator. And even the fact that these folks talk to me at all, I find amazing. It's like, occasionally someone asks me stuff. Like Hamish asked me something the other week, and I was like, you ask it? Okay. But yeah, I love that. And as a little joke, I always say, I only met 2 kinds of photographers. There's the photographer where they're the know-it-all, but rather is a question everything that you want to head for the exits, virtual and real, as soon as you meet them. But thankfully, the bulk of whom have been salt of the earth people, where you can talk and learn and and talk about our experiences and what we've done, and be inspirations to each other. So yeah, it has, and believe it or not, even though I said I was formerly pastor, I've done speaking things and stuff like that, but by nature I'm an introvert. But in order to do what I love, I've had to get over myself. Like I said, my first wedding, I did not want to do. I had my friend told me, he was like, "You're doing my daughter's wedding." I'm like, He's like, let me understand. Like, I'm worried about everything else. He's like, but I know if you do the wedding, it's gonna go well. And I'm like, fine. And so, I gotta thank him, Ed Bell, a friend of mine. He broke me out of my shell and had me do my first, and I actually enjoyed myself. Done a couple more since then. But yeah, I love the community. I love talking about it. I love the people I've met. It's just been a great experience. I mean, even brought me to situations like this where, man, I appreciate you and giving me this opportunity. And I have to get over myself because I'm like me. Like when you ask me, I'm like, okay. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, brother. And I want to say this: for it's written, your gifts make room for you. And since you're operating your gift and passion, you wasn't doing, like you said, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm just sharing a passion, a gift that God had gave me. And with that, like I said, it grew the community. It grew that you're able to meet amazing people and had an opportunity to fellowship with other amazing artists, creatives, people in the space that enjoy, like I said, it's not all about just what the results of the camera is, but the experience you have. The moment in time you spend together, you have the experience, and they enjoy the experience with you. You know, when somebody comes to you and say, hey, you know what? I got all this going on with this wedding, but I know if you taking care of this wedding as a photographer, because they know your heart, they know you have the passion and you have the love for photography. So you're going to capture the moment because it means something to you. You're just not clicking. You want to be able to capture experience as something that somebody else can enjoy as well. As a photographer that we look for, you want to capture a moment that is resonating, that it actually, even when you see that picture, when you leave that picture, it still resonates in your mind. And I love the idea that you are a writer and you have wrote so many things. Like you said, what's in your mind, in my mind. You didn't write just as you're going to put the thought out there. And we talked about it on this podcast before, the difference between journaling and publication. Both of them are very important. When you're journaling, you're taking the thoughts of your mind and you're getting out of your head and putting them papers. They actually help your memory, they actually free you. But when you do publication, you're taking the thoughts and you actually present it to the public so they can resonate and connect with you. So when you do publication like you're doing, when you do a blog, you are sharing something that others can connect to. And guess what? You're growing a community. And that somebody, you know what? I'm not the only person who think like this. Wow, this person using this technique and using this camera. Let me ask this question, how he does this, or what other advice he can give, or I might can share a point that might can help him, because sometimes we're not the expert at everything. Somebody sees something, say, hey, I can tell you something right here. You can change it right here. They can actually make your creation much better. And that's the thing about growing and being open as a creative. So, brother, come on now. You mentioned something about New York. So I'm going to ask this question. Dealing with photography, because this whole thing is dealing with photography. And we're going to sprinkle some other creative stuff in there as well. So how has that move from New York to North Carolina shaped your perspective as a photographer?
Great question. One thing that happened once I got into photography, part of me was like, oh man, why didn't I get more into this when I was in New York? Because New York is New York City. It's New York. It's iconic at every turn. It's like everywhere you go. I worked across this caddy corner, One Penn Plaza, from Macy's in Manhattan, and would we walk up to Times Square, walk over here, have lunch, all these places in New York City. Like, man, if I only had a camera then. But then I realized when I got down here, it's a different type. I joke that it's not street photography, it's like cul-de-sac photography. But what it does is it causes me to be more alert here when I'm in North Carolina and look for those opportunities, because you can dismiss it. It's like, oh, this is just this is just that. But there's special moments happening everywhere we are. And then the funny thing that happened is I went on a photo walk. Erskine Isaac, he has a Facebook group, the Gordon Parks Foundation, and I went on a photo walk with them. I think it was 2021. And there I realized that, kind of honing my skills, always looking, that I was a lunatic in New York. It was just like moment, because I'd spent so much time looking while I was here in a relatively slower pace, that while I was there, went to Washington Square, we were in the Village, we went here, we're in Harlem taking stranger port, and they taught me something there. We were approaching strangers and taking portraits of people in Harlem, and I love that, because that was definitely a get me out of my shell moment. but it was a wonderful time. But it honed skills I didn't realize I was honing, not until I realized I got back there. So there's like a benefit to both. Now I appreciate both. I don't put one over the other. And I see it. I'll just look for the opportunities where I am now, and look for the, like I said, look for the beauty hiding in plain sight, no matter where I am.
You are watching The Wise Hour with J. Melane Wise.
You are watching The Wise Hour with J. Melane Wise.
You're watching The Wise Hour with J. Melane Wise.
You're listening to The Wise Hour with Jay Wise. Have you not subscribed? Have you not told somebody else? Are we not commenting? We're on The Wise Hour. What we doing?
Oh man, and we're gonna share something right now because you're gonna see some beauty in plain sight in a moment, family. But I want to ask a couple more questions before I even get there. So, I'm gonna ask you something about dealing with the blog. In your blog, you said the least expensive gear that meets my needs win. Why is that philosophy so important to you?
I think it's because so much, it has everything. We're in a, like you talked about, a microwave society that we live in now, where what you have is like, oh, we're going to sell you this today, and then tomorrow, literally, whether it be phones, whether it be cameras, whether it be cars, whether it be anything, it's like, I'm going to sell you this today, and then 2 weeks, seems like 2 weeks go by. It's like, oh, you still have that? That's trash. You need this new thing. And if you're not careful, you get caught up in that, and there has to be a logical reason. So I try. Some of it I can't lie. It's do as I say, not as I do, because I get bit every once in a while. But I told her, like, yeah, don't do this. It's like, this is what I did. Don't do it. And to that end, like even last week, I'm still trying to put out there that there's a camera right now I bought a couple of times. It's a full frame lens. It's a Canon EOS RP. Came out, I think it was 2019, I think it came out. Wonderful little camera. Full frame, 24 megapixels, great colors. That's not the system I shoot. That's the reason I had to literally fight myself from buying it again. And I'm like, because I looked at a picture in my feed. You get those memories, like, remember this picture? Yeah. And I was like, that picture's nice. What did I take that with? I go to Flickr. Oh man, all these pictures are nice. How much do those cost now? That's not much. And it's like, and then, so that's the reverse. I have what I have. It's like, you got to be happy with that. But I always tell people, like, don't look at the latest and greatest. Go look at it. $500. I can give you a recommendation. That Canon EOS RP used. The lens costs less than $200. So it's $800. You have one of the best combinations you could possibly have out there. You don't need the latest and greatest $2,000, $3,000 camera to do photography. And even if for that, I tell people, oh, you don't have that, look at Micro Four Thirds. That's still viable. You can buy what was a OMD M5, something like that, top of the line Olympus. Now you can get for a couple $100. You can buy lenses for peanuts. And I have pictures that won a contest at UNC, were hanging in UNC offices for years. Every single one of those pictures was taken with a Micro Four Thirds camera. A plastic lens. There's a picture I have where I'm looking down from I think it was my sister-in-law's place in Co-op City in the Bronx on a basketball court. And that's one of my favorite pictures ever. I was taken with a lens that you can buy for $50, a plastic zoom lens, 40 to 4150, I think. But that's one of my favorite lenses of all time. These are you don't need to spend all that money. Don't believe that. And I got to stay off the new, because if I'm not careful, I get sucked in. You know what I mean? And it's like, I should know better by this point. It's like, oh, I need that, right? Yeah. It's like, but go with what you need. Look at what you need, not what's being sold to you as the best. Because they got these frames per second now, like high frame. But it's like, are you doing sports? This thing, all these different things of like, what are you doing? What are you? You may not need the latest and greatest thing. And I always tell people all the time, like, don't discount your phone. Phones can take some amazing pictures nowadays. It's like, I have an affliction. That's the engineer part of me coming out. That's why I always joke that I got the inner Ralph and the inner Teen in my head, Celestine. My mother's the bargain hunter. My father is the tech. He was the tech guy. So it's like the two are always battling with each other. But yeah, that's why I always say, I was like, what is it? Look at what you really need first. And then if you don't know what you need, buy the least expensive thing and then work your way up from that, because you can easily trade. And always buy used. I tell people always, if you can, buy used. I never tell people to buy new. because you can just save a ton of money with that. Yeah, if you want a warranty, you're doing professionally, and you need to get serviced and all. Yeah, but if you're just out here trying to shoot for enjoyment, I was to please buy KEHMPB. All these websites are fantastic for getting great deals. And I even joke with some people. I'm like, go on there, set your price point, and then choose the most money you're willing to spend on a camera and start with that one.
Come on now.
Instead of feeling you got to bankrupt yourself in order to do this thing. Because even I had a friend of mine recently. He's asked me, he's like, "Oh, can I do professional work with a Micro Four Thirds camera?" And I showed him my first photography job in Raleigh. That I got. That was the one where I was asked to do. I didn't want to do, but he was like, "I want you to do this," and then. But that was with Micro Four Thirds, and it's like, and I showed it to him. He's like, "Oh," and he went. Now he's using his existing system. I don't feel you're obligated to upgrade. Use what you got and learn.
Come on now. 24 karat go bars, brother. I'm talking about Indeed. I mean Indeed, and we get caught up in it. He said it. He said do what he said. Don't do what he do.
Exactly, because you'll be looking at my website like, but I'm like, don't. Look at the older stuff. Look at the Canon EOS RP post I put up. That's
okay. No, yeah. Hey, just flash at the new stuff real quick, people. Just don't just reach in your pockets. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to a line and bomb. That's all. Just appreciate it. I love it, man. I love it. I'm going to mention this real quick right here. You did mention this. You mentioned that photography is also therapy.
Yeah.
Can you share how it helped you with the process of life experiences?
I'll give you one that's very close to me. When my father was in decline, his health, he passed away in 2019, and my father is he was my rock. He was my cheerleader, my coach, my pastor, my favorite comedian, my mentor. I mean, you name it. He was that in my life. My best friend. That was the last one I unpacked when he passed away, and I realized that he was my best friend. But in his giving me photography, it was my photography that pulled me out of the doldrums. And so not only did he provide all this wisdom, all this knowledge, all these things, all these sayings. I got a whole book on Amazon I call Dadisms, where I just put all the things he said to me in a book and put it on Amazon. Because he not only did give me all of that, but he even gave me the means from which to survive his loss and to move on. And I have now a catalog of pictures of him in the last days, in the last year. And then that now, it's like, and then that made me realize another angle is like, we got to go ahead. I took all the time to take pictures. My father took pictures of our family mainly. But what he did informed how I see a scene in my subject matter. But now, on a number of occasions, I have seen where, because you have that picture, I have relatives that have passed, friends that have passed, and it ended up being a picture I took that was what people remember by. Brother Art Brakefield passed away recently, and I actually he was part of my art exhibit, one of my art exhibits in Greensboro, and I actually sent the framed picture to his family last week.
Wow.
Just so they could have it, and sent a folder, and they showed their appreciation. And again, that was just hoping to be some type of positive, different moments over the years with Brother Art, signing the wall at Carolina Theater, portrait I took. In fact, this one here, this is what I sent them of him. I don't be able to see it, but yeah, this is a portrait I took of Brother Art.
Wow.
And I can even tell you the moment that was at the old Durham Bulls Park, where we were just standing around singing, and he was just standing there, and the light hit him, and I just captured that picture. And I think, I don't know how many years ago, I think it was 2017 maybe. And it's like, and so many years later, then be able to try and frame that and just try to give that back as show that the esteem for a man who taught me so much, was a good friend, was just a great guy. And it's just, it's just, that's what I love about it. It's like I can go back and look through those albums.
Yes.
And it used to make me sad. Looking at images of my father used to make me sad. Now bring me joy. You know what I mean? And it's like, but it's all of it's therapeutic. And it helps you remember, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, that was a great moment. That was a great moment. That was a great moment. And it's just a wonderful way to relive moments in the past that are just not going to come again.
Come on now, 24 karat gold bars dropped in D, and I love the picture you show of brother Art, and it's the memory. He captured the moment of life where he's standing strong and there, and like you said, we share with the family and remember that moment in time when like I said, it was the 100-man black male chorus choir when they were singing, and it just brings back happy memories. And when you're able to use your gift and talent to bring reflection back to back to somebody's memory of a great time, it's always a blessing. And I love the way you shared that. And since you showed one photo, I want to share a couple of photos. I want to get your thoughts on it real quick. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and start with this one real quick. All right. I love this one. Reason why, because the framing of it, and how you frame this, even though it's an old race vehicle. And you can give me some details about it, but I love, look at the colors, people. It's not that many bright colors, but it's so vivid that it actually still tell a story. Even though you see the rustic, you see the brown, you see the green, but it's captivated in frame just right. Let me know your thoughts about this photo right here, brother.
This photo, again, was pure therapy. That was taken Thursday last week, actually. Occoneechee Speedway, historic Occoneechee Speedway in Hillsborough, North Carolina. I found out about it years ago, and I've been meaning to get by there, and I finally got by there. And it's funny, I work in IT, but I work in healthcare. And one of the reasons why I transitioned to healthcare, even when I went to Sloan Kettering, was that I got kind of tired of doing the widget corporate thing. You're just making a thing, making money to produce a thing to sell to people. But when I transitioned to made a decision to only search for jobs with not-for-profits. And so it's ironically, I ended up having a very New York City moment and getting offered a job by Leukemia Society on one side of the 3rd Avenue and Sloan Kettering right across the street, back to back. But with that level of importance that has risen in working in a hospital environment, even though we're not directly dealing in patient care, there are items that you just have great concern, and that brings us stress. When you care, you get stressed sometimes, you know what I mean? And we figured out something. We had a tough day, but we figured out something that will deliver a positive experience to those who are providing healthcare to others. And we found a resolution to a situation, and I was depleted. And so I literally just first instinctually, and like I have a thing I often say sometimes, we all get hit with those moments. And I tell people, I'm like, I don't feel right unless I'm taking pictures. And I don't take pictures when I'm not feeling right. So the only way out of it is just to literally just force myself to get out of the house and go take pictures. And that's what I did that night. It's like, I was like, where am I going to go? Okay, where I haven't been in a while. Okay, Occoneechee, I'll bring this camera. You can use this camera lens before there. And how can I take this in an interesting way? Because we can walk up and take 25 pics, but I always try to look for a way, what way made this not have been taken before? And so that was with camera almost on the ground, looking up, framing, and trying out different things. But again, that's all the little synapses firing off in your head. And when I saw the picture when I got home, that's the dopamine hit that I was talking about before. I'm like, nice. And it's like, and they already gotten like a lot of positive response. But yeah, it's a feedback loop almost. It's like, okay. And that all started with me. All right, I'm down and I can sit in this house and sit in this funk. Or I can go out, God knows where, because I didn't even know where I was going to head when I left the house. I took this camera, I took this lens, and I'm leaving the house, and I'm going to take a picture. And then it hit me. Okay, I'm in Occoneechee in a minute, so I went by there and took that picture. And then that ended up in the feedback loop. I posted that picture through Instagram, through Facebook. People come back, oh, that's so nice. That's this, that's the other. Oh, that feels good. So now, instead of something that would have stopped at just me sitting in my seat Thursday afternoon after work, ended up being something that's still feeding me to this day, and feeding back into positivity, back into my life, rather than just sitting there isolated and staying to myself.
Come on now. 24 karat gold bars dropped in D, and I love it too because it brought me a piece when I actually looked at that. I said, man, that's an amazing photo, and I just love the framing of it. Even though it's an old abandoned car, not there, it's just something by the imagery there that you still see the life within, around it, and being in there, and it's still a spotlight that it had a former life, but it still brought life today. And that how my work.
It forces me to get over myself because in that, it's a walking path. So there are people walking around looking at this man kneeling down on the ground, taking a picture with his camera like he's crazy. It's like, They're walking their dogs, getting their steps in, all this other stuff. And it made me, like I said, back to that trip to like New York City, it forces you to get over yourself and like, okay, what I'm looking to grab is more important than what people may think. That doesn't matter what they think. I don't know these people. It doesn't matter what they think of me. I'm out here trying to do a thing, and I need to focus on that instead of focusing on the outside world, judge may be strong, but wonder what on earth I'm up to. And that's not important. They don't need to know. They don't need to understand.
Correct. This you need to go to your blog. All right, I'm gonna share this one right here because I'm a bit love of black and white, and this is a few of them I want to make sure I share. So I'm gonna share this one real quick. Tell me about this one because I love the sky. I love the standpoint of the travel in the restaurant and stuff like that. It's so timeless how you capture that. So let me know your thoughts about this one.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that was a day where I love days like this, where it's just. And we all know you're a photographer, it's like, skies are like, oh man, where can I frame? What can I do? How can I go? It's like, I can't waste this sky. It's going to be gone because it's going to be fleeting, because sky's going to clear in an hour or two, or it's going to rain, or, you don't know what's going to happen. So that was another where I was out. I happened to be out and about. And this is what I tell you all the time. Because I always have friends of mine. It's like, when are we going to go out and shoot? I'm like, I don't go out and shoot. I shoot wherever I am. It's like I bring the camera with. And that was one of those. I was just driving around running errands. I can't remember for what, probably picking up food or going to get something or for my wife or one of the kids or something like that. And it's like, and I saw that scene and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I took the picture and I love that. And I love that little restaurant. You ever get a chance? You ever in, I think it's in Graham, 85, Rise and Shine Diner. It's a wonderful little diner.
Okay. I mean, you may not go. I owe you a lunch opportunity anyway.
Let's do that. Let's do that. And then it's interesting. I mean, there's little things that it's like flat of whimsy because outside is an abandoned pool with a fence around it, and it's dilapidated. No water in the bottle, because it's attached to what used to be a hotel that's abandoned.
Okay.
And there's the sign there. That's what drew me there so many times initially, because the sign says, to gain entry, please see the front desk. And I just thought that, to me, that's the funniest thing in the world. It's like no one in the world. How long has that sign been there? And it's like, and for this old dilapidated pool, but many pictures I've taken it out of the hotel. The food's there, so there's memories of me and my kids there. And it's like, so to frame that with the sky, it's not just that sky that day, but even in the scene there's memories, pleasant memories for me, and it's a nice way to capture and kind of relive it.
Come on now. I love it. I'm going to the next one. This one right here, I know. I can't wait for your response on this one right here. So
that is Marlon West on the right. Give him his full credit, the director, founder, creator, mentor extraordinaire. On the right there, Marlon West, say his name again, and this is one of the reasons I love being in that chorus is the young folks, the emphasis put on these young folks, because even that young man on the left, I can't remember his name right now, I apologize to you, sir, but he just recently joined, and so I got to see his path from being uncomfortable, learning the songs, this, that, and the other, and now to see him standing there, in his pose, in his moment. We just performed for it's a Department of Justice program for victims in Raleigh.
Wow.
That someone there before, but and I love that we do outreach and try to touch people like that and have the families come up to us after and say how we help minister to them is humbling. But to also have these young men see that experience and to take their picture after that, it's just and I loved, and that's one of the things. It's like I love capturing these young people, and that's the thing that was and I posted with this. No, this is an earlier picture I took of these young men, and I'm like, the future's going to be all right. I'm not into this generational stuff. People split up and joke about, this new generation. I'm telling you right now, spend some time talking to these young people instead of about them. Because when you spend time with them, you'll see that these young men want the same things we all want. You know what I mean? These are all men want to be productive members of society, go out and be educated, be contributors to their society as well. Don't believe the hype. These young men are going places and they're doing things. It's just the fact that we get to spend a little time with them and to talk with them and mentor them, and even just be there for them, it means a lot to me. It's one of the definite side benefits of being a part of 100 Men in Black Male Chorus. Just to plug to 100 Men in Black, also we have a concert every year where Marlon sees fit to give back to these young men in the form of what's the word I'm looking for?
Scholarship money. He gets scholarship money, yeah.
With them. So again, that's the cyclical thing. Not only it ministers to me, when I'm in rehearsal, because I'm human. There are days where I don't feel like going out on Monday night. I'm like, I don't want to go out. I'm like, no, it's like, but I go there and 10 minutes in, I'm fellowshipping, I'm singing, I'm feeling better. And then we go out and sing to other people and then they tell us how it made them feel better. And it's just, and that's the thing. I think we so much of this society concentrates on what I can get out of somebody or something. And, you know, if we can concentrate more on what we give, it ends up, it can't help but bless us in the end.
Indeed.
And then being a part of a group that's looking to do good, it's just a wonderful thing. And, you know, I get to sing while I'm at it, which, but yeah, so it's more than just like with the photography. It's more about more about just the photography. It's more about just to sing it and to see these young men. And I love to see them and their silliness. You know, we get, you know, we have to watch ourselves sometimes because they start acting like young men. It's like, all right, you know, you know, but it's like, but we want them to be themselves and be full of themselves and feel comfortable around us also. So it's a wonderful thing. And they bless us as well. They've shared good thoughts with us, but they're a blessing to me.
Indeed. As I always use this word as a non-active member of the 100 Man Black, because I haven't been there since the pandemic, and actually a little bit before that. But it's always like I said, Marlon West is it's amazing in how he brings and cultivate and bring men together. It doesn't matter what age. You can be more mature or you can be young, and he'll embrace and bring everybody and make everybody feel. Everybody's welcome.
Out every once in a while that it's 100 men in black, not 100 black men. So everybody's welcome.
Everybody welcome. Yes, everybody welcome. As you saw in the photo, you saw it not was just black, you know, just black men or black young men. You saw there anybody. It can be. You saw the picture that had two white young men in there, but it can be anybody who love to sing and love the fellowship. That was it's all about. Thank you for sharing that. And I got this one right here because this one was real cool. So let me share this one. I definitely want your feedback on this one. I loved it. Because even the shadows is capturing a moment in the art of that. Because everything works. You know, I look at everything. I'm very detailed when it comes to photography. And I even love how even the shadow placement even look good on here. So go ahead and tell me about this one.
This one, just to give it, I can shout out to Cesar Molina for the Seize the Moments on Instagram. He, I've had people where, you know, they'll go to car shows and they're like, hey, let me know when the next one. I don't hear anything. I met Cesar. He told me he was going to come out to one of the shows in Greensboro where I met him. And it was funny because I didn't put it together at first. And he's like, he came up to me. He's like, oh, what's your name? Cesar. Whoa. Seize the Moments. I was like, yeah, you told me you're coming. Yeah, we in Fast Friends. And that's the second Lowrider show. The last one's in Fayetteville. And so he invited me to that. So shout out to him. But yeah, these men were just sitting by this car. And it's like, and then the funny part is I love energy. You know, when you match energy, like I saw them, I was like, oh, can I get you three? Picture you three, and instinctually all of us kneeled. And it was just funny. They kneeled to pose, I kneeled to take the picture, and they hit the pose, and we took, and it was just smiles all around, you know what I mean? And it was just a beautiful community there, beautiful. And that was another one where it's nice to see people of all backgrounds, all ages coming together for the car show, and these amazing things. And it made me feel a little better because like we talk about, you know, not buying the latest and greatest. I'm like, well, I think I found a hobby that's more expensive than mine, so I can like I'm not spending that much. But those cars, yeah, the cars are beautiful. But the energy from that day and those men is just a great thing to have just met them literally, and to, you know, to be able to take the picture like that. I love moments like that.
Come on, I do too. I do. Got one more. Got this one. I'm gonna ask. Let me show you. Then we're gonna talk about this one. I love black and whites, but man, what? Okay, all right. So, what inspired you? I know you were sitting down in the restaurant, and what inspired you to capture the moment? But you didn't just capture just the Waffle House sign standpoint. You caught the visual of the inside, the reflection of the inside, but it's translated to be outside. It created another form of art, and you captured the places on the outside, which actually align with everything to make it look like a digital art. So with that being said, and is it black and white too? Come on, brother. What were your thoughts?
This is film, actually. This was taken with film. But yeah, I love reflections.
Yes.
Love reflections. Anytime I can capture a reflection, and then when it can have some meaning or story may be strong, but it was, to me, it was about the consumer. I'm in there feeding my face I don't know what I was eating, but there's definitely a waffle and some sausage involved. But I look out the window and I saw the McDonald's sign, and I saw the Bojangles sign, and I saw the lights from inside the restaurant, and it's just, and I love that. You know, put the fork down, get the camera, and that's what I mean. Is like so that is a scene that I would have thought was neat, but the fact that I can, you know, always bring a camera with, to be able to then turn around and capture it, and then frame it in a certain way. And it's like, I love that. I just love that. And again, that's and then to develop it later. Being filmed, I don't know what I got. I think I got it, you know, and then to get home and to develop it that night and realize that, oh, it did come out the way I wanted it to come out. There's no better feeling for me than that. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you just get it, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on a camera. You can get a $50 Kodak Ektar that I have, half frame camera. That can cost $50, get a cheap roll of film, and then just run through it. And for me, I tell you all the time, it may not do anything for you, but it's just a wonderful thing to get that film back and see the image come back later, and just the way you hoped it would. But it was. Thank you for appreciating that. That
was true creativity, because you see the dynamics of, like you said, the frame. You know you're inside, but it captured the outside. It brought the inside to the outside, but you're still able to focus on the restaurants that are surrounding. It did not seem displaced. It seemed like everything was a unit and everything was still in order. Amazing talent and amazing work of your gift, brother. So man, it inspired me. See, I'm like, man, I need to go ahead and I take my phone with me, and I got what we call a adapter. I don't have it hit the show, but I have a little adapter for it to make it into and we call it pistol grip, you know. So I turn my phone into almost like a camera, like a mini camera. So I'm able to do that. And but this right here has really motivated me to go ahead and get and I haven't upgraded yet. I still use my old one when I go and do some photography, or I even have to do a job. I still use my my Canon 5D Mark II. You know what I'm saying? It's old and stuff like that, but it still take amazing pictures and the quality of it. And I know the fundamentals. So
and I love those. But I went that route because I did a season. I was like, oh man, DSLRs are cheap, so I only got an OG 5D Canon and a 50mm. I was going to town, but the problem is, you already know the deals with that. That's a dope camera, but it's like carrying around a melee weapon.
Yeah.
There's no exactly. Like I often joke at zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna get a camera grip with a camera mount with an axe handle. It's like I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse. But yeah, so what I do now is like one of my I got a little, and I told you, and I wrote a post about this and what I recommend. I recommend something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly this, but this is a little. It's a vlogging camera. It's the ZV-1, right? And the reason I like it is because it's for video ostensibly, but I actually like it for stills because it's got a 20 megapixel, but it's also got a Zeiss lens in it, and it's 1.8 to 2.8 equivalent. It's only 1-inch sensor, but it's a 1.8 aperture, and it's about a 24-70. But yeah, the one thing I love about it is it's small, fits in a shirt pocket, back pocket, side pocket, and then you're ready to go. And if you go and you see a post I put up about it recently, and it takes a minute, and then you're, like I said, you flip out the screen and you're ready to go. Put it back, it automatically folds up, and you're ready. And I love it because it helps you just kind of, what is it? I forgot one of the things. Cartavia song that is about being. Now I don't want to misquote photographers because I don't want to set.
We don't do that. This on the airwaves. This is on the global airwaves. So,
but yeah, it's like it helps you just be there. You know what I mean, and and just be ready to take the pic. And also, one of my favorite things is I try not to stop my family dead when we're out. You know what I mean? So it's like, I got my camera with me. It's like, and everybody's tapping their toes over here while like, oh, I saw this flower. I'm coming out of the sidewalk. And it's like, this helps me just boop, boop, take the picture, boop, boop, throw it back in my pocket, keep it moving. So I tell people, it's like, I like it as a camera when I'm out, not for photography. when I'm out with family, when I'm out doing something else, when I'm out living my life, when I'm at work, it's a nice thing where I can take. I was like, okay, now if I'm going out to take photographs, I'm gonna have the most ridiculous contraption on the face of the earth, and I'll stop everything if it's just for me taking pictures. But I like to try to respect the people I'm with, and I love this because it allows me to kind of still do my thing, but not bring all proceedings to a complete and utter stop, and take a great picture while it's at it.
Come on now. That's 24 karat gold bars dropped indeed. I appreciate that, man. I love that you shared with us the equipment that you're gonna allow us to, but like I said, to be available when you need to use it, but it won't stop the whole function. You don't have to get out, you have to bring out the big crank, you don't have to bring out the big case. And I love that. I love that. And they still be able to capture the moment with high quality and be efficient at the same time. Got one more question for you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Define the word life. And what do life means to you?
For me personally, life has been in 3 phases, and I figured this out young when I was a freshman in college. And I looked at my parents. I looked at the path I wanted in my life, and for me, life has been the first part has been my parents and my relationship with them, and them nurturing me and teaching me, and to a large degree, a lot of times they love me so much and did so much for me, doing for them. I want to make them happy. I want to make them proud. The next section for me was about, for me personally, family was big. And, even when I was young, at 18, 19, people were like, Dad, you're always talking about your children. You ain't even got no children yet. And it's like, I was thinking about family years before they came. And I was telling my kid that, one of my children that the other day, it was like, I was talking about this and this conversation I had when I was 18. I told him, like, my first child wasn't born until 18 years after that. So the second, what I did was to try to benefit others, and mainly my children. And that has come to fruition. And now they're grown and they're finding their way, getting their legs up underneath them. And I'm helping them along in that stage. And the third stage for me, it is my hope that, then for a long life that I get to live for me at the end, do the things I want to do. That's how I transition to this thing, music more and photography more. And then not that I didn't take care of myself at all during those phases, but those weren't my main goals at that time. There are things I sacrificed of myself for others in my life, and now I feel like I'm moving into a phase where I can more focus on me. Life has been its service, because if you leave this place not having been a service to anybody, I mean, what's the point, really?
Ooh.
Honestly.
24 karat gold bars dropped indeed. All right, my brother Eric. Now, with that being said, how can people get in contact with you?
The easiest way is through Instagram, is Ewoods Photo. My website, ewoodsPhoto.com. And on that, if you go to my About page on my website, that'll have ways to get in contact with me. I don't want to get my email out here, but it's like that. I'm at ericawoods@gmail.com if you want to send me a note. But yeah, that fairly easy to reach. Yeah, just go to any one of those sites. And if you want to, the music thing. Let me tell you a story about music. I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know if I did this already. This is one I didn't even share with you earlier today. I did an album myself years ago just because I wanted to do an album. It was amateurish and it shows. But one track that came out of it, but I wanted to see how hard it would be to record it, to copyright it, to get it on iTunes, to get it in Google. And I did that and got it all marketed, created the artwork for it. My wife found a copy of it. It speaks to my attention span. I couldn't find a copy of it. My wife found a copy of hers in my office. This was going down the road one day. I think it was 87 in North Carolina. But that was a project I put out. And on there, I used to do voiceovers for Amy Zion for the Sunday school. And one night I kept getting tongue-tied. So I sat down and recorded a kind of a quirky version of Wade in the Water, a cappella. And after I got done, it was one of those moments like, that don't sound half bad. So I made it one of I think it was the last track on that CD. And this is what I mean by the internet. And people are like, oh, the internet can be good. Had a guy from the UK, DJ Mallow. He reached out to me. He was like, hey, I turned that song. It was the second time Obama won the second time that night. And he reached out to me. He's like, hey, man, I created a house track out of that song. And I released it played it in clubs, and I also released it on a compilation, a house compilation. And so New York thing. Yeah, right. I went and Googled it. Sure enough, it's on Beatport, still for sale to this day.
Come on.
And so if you search, as I said, if you Google what is it, Erica Woods and Wade in the Water, you'll get to hear that. But there's many ways to get in contact with me. And it's still going. Is it okay if I talk about the project with Denise Woods now, or do you?
Oh yeah, please bring that up. Yes, sir.
One person who's been a really good friend for years, and again, a person I met through social media, is a lady named Denise Woods, just former Juilliard teacher. Right now, on and on and on and on credits. Right now, she's a voice coach. Speakitclearly.com, I believe, is her website, and it's her Instagram page. Voice coach to Will Smith from Muhammad Ali. Right now, Mahershala Ali is one of her clients. Holly Berry is one of her clients, on and on and on. And through this social media thing, I met through a mutual friend on Facebook. She reached out to me after I posted. And again, how you put things out and then it comes back to you. I posted a solo that I did for the last 100 Minute Black concert. And she reached out to me and I did sessions with her. And now she's working with me to put together, we have a 5-song selection that we're going to record with Marlon West. Marlon West is going to help me out with that, playing the piano and finding a studio. But yeah, that's the next thing that's up on the other side. So there's photography at the wedding tomorrow, but then there's also this music thing that's coming up. And it's man, can I tell you, it's surreal. I'm still kind of like, I'm just like, is this really happening? Is this? So, we'll see. I'll be happy no matter what occurs. But it's like, I'm still like, this is what? Wait, what? Seriously? Because even Denise for years, right? And then it's still spiked up again. I'm like, is this really Denise? Am I being? It's like just using her ID. And it's like so. Yeah, there's some exciting stuff coming up. I'm really kind of excited about what's coming up. And to have you, and she was encouraged. I posted about this yesterday on Facebook. And even she was the first one to jump in the comments and tell me, like, this is your season. It's like she's just very supportive and a very good friend. Even calls me cousin. It's like I call her cousin now. I'm kind of excited about it.
Hey, y'all shared the last name. You shared the last name. Never, hey, what I'm saying? We're all kin for one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And to be honest, no matter what happens, I'm happy. No matter what happens, life has already given me more than I could ask, if I'm honest. Family, kids, all that other stuff. Everything else just gravy now. But yeah, man, because I'm somewhat a stoic. I'm trying to allow myself to be excited for the first time. I've been terrible. It's like I always get that. But that's a running joke with my friends. It's like, are you happy? Oh, I'm thrilled. It's like, it doesn't register at all. Trust me, I'm excited. And it's like, are you? I'm like, yeah, seriously. And it's like, yeah. But now I'm kind of excited to see what happens next. No matter what happens, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, brother, and I'm looking forward for that and more that you share. And trust me, brother, this ain't the last time you're gonna be on this amazing podcast, because your insight and wisdom and your passion is what we shared. And anything that you're doing with the creative side, writing, visual arts, I would say, with the photography and anything like that, and singing and stuff, I'd definitely be reaching out to your brother. And then like I said before, and I had said in that space, and yes, I'll be true to my word. I owe you, a lunch opportunity or a dinner opportunity, because so we supposed to got together about over almost 3 years or 2.5 years ago, and I had to cancel. And so it's a blessing for you, to be able to come back right now and just remind me. I would love to be sitting in the restaurant, had the opportunity to say, you know what, I need to pick up this. Of course you want to be respectful to your content, but I know if you pick up with camera, I can pick up mine too. So thanks for coming out, brother, on the Wise Hour, man. We're looking forward to talking to you again on this amazing show. So thank you, brother.
Leave an opportunity. All the best and much success to you, man. Much success.
Thank you, brother. Family, was that a great episode? I know you'll learn a lot about cameras, equipment, but the thing is about the passion of life. And the thing is, use your passion. Use that will drive you to be able to be a creative. Is that photography, that's singing, and that's anything above. You just want to take the opportunity to use your talent and capture the moment. So we want to thank Eric for being here. And trust me, I'm going to ask you to have him back on here again to talk about more so creative things, dealing with photography, even music. He's multi-talented, and even with the standpoint of writing. Amazing brother. So definitely go out to his website and check him out. All right, family, I have a merch line. If you want to support this channel, you can go to this link here and get the wear shirt. Understanding where you are, dropping 24 karat gold bars. Indeed, you can go to that link and be able to support the channel that way. All right, family, love is a action word. While you're taking the time to love yourself, make sure you show love to someone else. And we see you on the next The Wise Hour. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Take care and peace.
Well, who are these children all dressed in red? God's gonna trouble the water. Must be them children that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that over yonder, all dressed in white? Wade in the water. Must be them children of the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. It's chills the body, but not the soul. God's gonna trouble the water. in the water. God's gonna trouble